All right, welcome into another episode of our daily Devos in the Psalms. Pastor Rick here, and glad to be here with you. So yesterday we were in Psalm 40, and we went all the way through verse 10. So we're going to hit verses 11 through the end of the chapter, verse 17. And so probably be a little bit of a shorter one today, but I think a couple of really great verses that stuck out to me. So I just wanted to go through those together and praying that it'll bless you today as we seek the Lord through his word. So here we go. Lord, do not withhold your compassion from me. Your constant love and truth will always guard me. For troubles without number have surrounded me. My iniquities have overtaken me, and I am unable to see. They are more than the hairs of my head, and my courage leaves me. Lord, be pleased to rescue me. Hurry to help me, Lord. And here we can see David, a man after God's own heart, is not complaining about. He's not complaining about enemies that are just coming to get him. He's not complaining about things outside of him. He's complaining about the things inside of him that are causing him so much trouble. The iniquities, the sins of his life are surrounding him and overtaking him. Troubles as a result of his sin, his iniquities having overtaken him, surrounded him, hemmed him in. And so, it's just interesting to see someone like David talking like this, because I think most of the time we associate David with being the shepherd out with the sheep, worshiping God, and just like being this guy that lives in the presence of the Lord, and yet we see this side of David where it's clear he had some stuff going on in his life at different times, and we know obviously from biblical history that he committed adultery and had somebody murdered, and so there's some pretty significant things that he did in the sin and iniquity world, and certainly those things caused him a lot of problems. One thing I love, so that's kind of like point number one, is everybody has stuff that they're dealing with. Everybody has sin that they are working their way through. Like Jonathan Owen says, to mortify sin, like work on, by the power of the Holy Spirit, killing the sin desires that are in you, because sin is so destructive that we don't want to just keep it around like a little pet or something, because it always grows to be bigger than you wanted it to be. So don't withhold your compassion from me. Your constant love and truth will always guard me. I love that combination, constant love and truth and compassion. Man, it's just a beautiful picture of who God is. Lord, be pleased to rescue me. Hurry to help me, Lord. And I think that that's a little bit of a revelation of God's desire to rescue us from the power of sin. I mean, he's the one that paid the price, made the way already. Like, he's the one that took the initiative to do that for us. So it should be a good indicator to us that, hey, if you're stuck in some sin, the right response is to run to him, to run to God and to say, Lord, help me. Lord, I confess. Lord, I'm repenting. God, help me. Lord, let your compassion and your unfailing love and your truth just wash over me and help me with all of these troubles that are flowing out of. Lord, take joy, take pleasure in rescuing me. That should be the cry of our heart. That should be the way that we're pointed when we are dealing with stuff from inside us. Let those who intend to take my life be disgraced and confounded. Let those who wish me harm be turned back and humiliated. Let those who say to me, aha, aha, it's just kind of a judgment kind of statement, be appalled because of their shame. I love this verse. Let all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. And let those who love your salvation continually say, the Lord is great. So it's probably one of the verses I want you to take with you today and kind of meditate on. So, do you rejoice and are you glad in the Lord? Do you rejoice and are you glad in the Lord? And do you love salvation? Do you love the salvation of the Lord, both for you and for other people? And then what is the declaration on your lips? Is the declaration on your lips that the Lord is great? Are you so overwhelmed by the situations that you're in the middle of that you've lost sight of that? Let's rediscover it today. Let's rediscover the greatness of our God. I am oppressed and needy. May the Lord think of me. You are my helper and my deliverer. My God, do not delay. Again, just situating your heart before the Lord, recognizing that he really indeed is our helper and our deliverer. Because, again, I think the enemy wants to tell you two lies when he's tempting you to sin. Before you sin, he's trying to say, it's not that big of a deal. No big deal. Everybody does it, whatever. But then after you give in to the temptation and you have committed some form of sin, then he comes to you and he's like, oh my gosh, this is the biggest deal ever. Nobody could ever recover from this. God can't love you through this. And so he tries to shame us into then avoiding God, because I think Satan knows that God's the only one that can cleanse us, that can pull us through that mess. So if he can get us to avoid going to the Lord, then we're stuck in our sin, and he wins part of the battle. So let's keep our hearts focused on the fact that God is our helper and our deliverer. Let all who seek him rejoice and be glad in him. And let's all make it our statement today. The Lord is great. Drop it in the chat today. In the comments, just say, hey, the Lord is great. And then go text 5 friends. God is great. God is great. And just let's spread that idea around today. Let's share with people the fact that God is great. So with that, God bless you. Have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.